Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So as per requested, you guys said that in the last video amkuwa mnanisikia vizuri, so your girl went out and I got me a microphone thingy, so I'm hoping that the sound is much clearer in this video as opposed to the last one, and apologies for that. So as you can see from the title of the video, today's video is all about eyeshadow, and we're going to be doing this in a series because there are different eyeshadow looks. So for today's eyeshadow look, we're going to be going into a simple shimmer look. So we're going to be doing a shimmer look, and then later on we're going to be doing a nude look. Not a nude look, a matte look. That means using powdery colors and not shiny colors or pigmented colors. Or colors with pigment or shimmer. So without further ado, let us get into this video. Okay, so before we even come and talk about shadow, we're going to be talking about the prep of the eyeshadow, which basically means making sure or setting processes in place that make sure that your eyeshadow not only stays for long, but it also does increase, and it also brings out the colors or the pigment of your eyeshadow in the best way possible. So when we are talking about that, we're talking about eye prep or eyeshadow priming, and for that I'm going to be showing you two things that you can either use. So the first thing is your regular concealer. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Cool Tan, and as you can see, even when I was concealing my eyebrows, over here I used the shade Fawn, which is my skin color, and then over here I used Cool Tan, which is slightly lighter, just to be able to bring that lift right there on the brow arch, that one. So for your eyeshadow priming, you can either choose to go in with a concealer which is lighter than your skin color. And what tends to happen when you go in with a concealer that is lighter is that, especially when you're using anything with colors, it will end up showing the color more intensely, as opposed to just using, for example, LA Girl in the shade Fawn, which is my skin color. So let's say you're looking at doing an eyeshadow look that is primarily your skin color, and by that I mean just putting on an eyeshadow that is your color. You understand what I mean? Like a very nude look, like a very no makeup look. So for cases like that, I'm going in with a concealer that is your shade, which is like this one. The Fawn is perfect for that, or you can alternatively go in with a shade lighter. That's okay. So now another alternative, as opposed to the concealers, is this is an eyeshadow primer. This is the Technique Eye Canvas, as you guys can see, and there are different types of eyeshadow primers, and they come in liquid, others come in creams, others come in sticks. It's all dependent on the brand and the type of eyeshadow primer that you want to use. So for today's look, we're going to be using this is in the shade Light. As you can see, it's very, very light. It's almost white. Let me just do a quick swatch for you guys. This is how it looks. You can see against my skin color, it's very light, and that is because we want the colors that we're going to use to be very intense. Okay, so let's get into now application. So for application, you can either choose to go in with this is a fluffy blending brush, and it's slightly angled, as you can see, or alternatively you can always go in with a damp beauty blender. These beauty blenders are from Nedgeworld, and same with the brushes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use both of them. So first of all, I'm just going to dip into this. This is just the same concealer that we used underneath the eyebrow. So I'm just going to pick up some of that product. And then the thing with eyeshadow priming, guys, is less is more. Because you see, I put a very small amount, but trust me, that's all I need for both eyes. Okay, so start with a small amount and then build it up, because even your lid space, it's not that big. And then the one thing that I see a lot of people making a mistake in is using too much eyeshadow primer or too much concealer. Okay, why is that wrong? So whenever you're applying product, and especially whenever you're applying makeup, over layering products always tends to increase the likelihood of creasing. That's, you see, like for example, let me close my eye. You see that? Those are already creases that have happened on my eye. And especially when your eyes tend to crease a lot, it's always advisable to use just enough product. Don't use too much, otherwise you increase the likelihood of it creasing even more. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of that product and then just slowly tap in. Don't worry if you see me looking up, my mirror is up here. So I'm just going to tap it in like so. And as you can see, I put my concealer when I was cleaning my eyebrow from the eyebrow all the way till like almost my crease area. So where I'm going to put this is just on my lid and slightly above to my crease area like so. Okay, the reason why I'm not dragging it is because you see this is a lighter color, so if you drag it all the way to your eyeshadow to your eyebrow, sorry, what tends to happen is it changes the color of everything that you've already concealed, and you don't want that. So you want everything to remain as it is, but just slightly prime this little area over here, just so you can be able to have the perfect canvas for the beginning of your eyeshadow look. So I'm just going to put the same, and as you can see, there's still some left, which just goes to show how little you need for your eyeshadow looks. So I'm just going to press that in with my brush and taking it just slightly into my crease area, but not too high, because we don't want to interfere with the area where the foundation is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and then just seamlessly blend the two. That, you see this harsh edge, we want to blend that out. So I'm just going to go in with this. This is a damp beauty blender. What I did is I just put it, I ran water through it and then squeezed out all the water, and then I took a towel and then squeezed out all the excess. So I'm just going to take that and then very lightly, whenever you're using a beauty blender, guys, don't go, you know, I know it's called a face beat, but don't take it literally. Like, just use light motions. What a beauty blender tends to do is, because it's a sponge, it tends to absorb some of the product that you're applying. So what you want to do ideally is, if you're using a beauty blender, then use a very light hand or very light motion when applying, just so you don't take away from the product that you've already applied. So I'm just going to lift a little bit and then just very lightly blend the two. You can see with very little motion, I'm able to get a very nice and seamless blend. So just keep doing that back and forth until you get your desired color, and it should be looking something like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and do the other eye, and then I'll be back. So we're back. I went ahead and did this one eye, so I want to replicate and show you on this other eye. So the first thing that you're going to be doing, number one, do you see that even after you apply your concealer or your eyeshadow primer, what tends to happen is, if you don't set it immediately either with a matte shadow or powder, it does tend to crease. So what are we going to do the first thing? So the first thing, and this is a little tip I like to do even with my clients, today's palette of choice is the Zulu Juvia's. So we're going in with this for the brown, and then the yellow to blend that out. And then now for the lid color, we're going to be going in with this color, this beautiful pinkish goldish color. So the first thing that I would recommend you guys do is take your blending brush, and as you can see, we are using fluffy blending brushes for our matte. Whenever you want to blend out matte colors, fluffy blending brushes are always a plus, as opposed to something flat, because this is able to pick up the matte shadow properly, and you're able to blend it out because the bristles are, you know, like that. So I'm going to be going in with this brush, and then I'm just going to pick up the brown. When you're picking up product, you don't swipe. It's good to tap. Okay, but you can actually do either, but I just usually like to tap. So you tap and then pick up the product, and then don't set it yet. What we're going to do is, I'm going to be going in with this. This is face powder, Illegal. It's in the shade Nude Beige. And then I'm just going to take a similar brush and then pick up the product, tap away the excess, and then I'll go in with my beauty blender and then blend everything out. But I'm not going to set the whole eye. Some people do like setting the whole eye when you're doing shimmer shadows, but I do tend to find that what that does is it makes it harder for the pigment to really show, and sometimes even to glide on as smoothly. Shimmer usually loves a wettish base, like a concealer or a foundation, just something wettish, as opposed to a pre-powdered eye look. You get what I mean? So I'm just gonna go in and blend everything out. And as you guys can see, I'm using tapping in motion and not dragging, because when I drag, I'll essentially be moving the concealer from one area to another, and I don't want that. I just want the concealer to remain there. So I'm just tapping it in to blend everything out, and then I'm going to, we already put our product there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly set the brow bone and then a little bit lower just on the crease area, just to prevent any creasing. I want you to notice that I'm not dragging the powder onto the lid area. I'm just putting it on under the eyebrow and a little bit on the crease area right here in the middle, just to make sure that it doesn't crease. Okay, and I'm patting it in. When it comes to eyeshadow, there are several ways that you can pack in product. One of them is patting in, and then also for blending, you can also use patting in. You see, even as I am patting in, I am still blending it out. So I've done that, and then if you need to add any more, just make sure you add. I want you to also notice where I'm holding the brush. Holding the brush towards the end gives you more of a lighter touch, as opposed to putting it like this. The next thing I'm going to do now is go in with my brown from this palette, and then I'm just going to lightly start packing on the product on the outer crease. Okay, what we're doing is a light smoky eye. I know smoky usually is associated with black, but smoky can be anything from brown to dark brown to black. So the intensity just is what differs. So like a very dark smoky is now when you're going to the extremes of the black, and then now you can have like a very light smoky eye, something like this. Smoky basically means putting a dark brown towards black eyeshadow towards the edge of your eye, just to give you that, you know, sultry look. So I'm gonna go in with a brown and then pack it right there. What you want to do is pack it almost in a triangular shape, like so, and then just drag it all the way here. What you don't want to do is to be putting your eyeshadow all the way till here, because what tends to happen, even if you blend it out, even if you're very good at blending and you blend it out, you will have that color blend all the way till your eyebrow, and you don't want that. So especially for hooded eyes, you want to start rather from down here and then build up the color as you go along, as opposed to just taking a whole bunch of color and then just putting it all over. So, and then I'm using my pinky finger again. If you guys watched my video on how to do your eyebrows, you saw that I always use my pinky finger as an anchor or as a support, just to be able to give me guidance and to be able to give me support, so that first of all my hand doesn't shake, and also to be able to manage the area that I am applying my product. So again, I'm going to use my finger as a pivot and then just pack it in. As you can see, I'm not dragging it, I'm just packing it in. Basically, I'm just pressing in the product just to make sure that it's the intensity that I want. Sometimes what tends to happen is you might find that this one is like very dark on this area and then this one is light. So what you want to do is, always blend so that they can have the same intensity. So if this one is darker than this one, then either make it lighter or make the other one darker, just so you can have a uniformity or an evenness in terms of how dark or how intense your shadows are. So I'm just gonna continue packing it, and then I'm gonna slightly drag it all the way till you see where my eyeball is, the black part there, not my eyeball, my iris. yes, the black part. So I'm gonna blend it still almost close to there, and then I'm gonna leave it, because even as you're blending, as you can see, when you blend, it always just tends to find its way towards the inner corner of your eye. So I'm just gonna continue packing it. If you have smaller eyes, I would recommend raising your eyebrow. It will give you more space, so you can be able to see where exactly you're blending, so you don't go too far. And there we go. So the next thing we're going to be doing, I know some people like to go in directly with the transition color or with a lighter color to blend, but a way that you can be able to make it easier for you to be able to blend out this color is to first blend it out with itself, by itself, and then go in with a transition color. So again, I'm going to hold the edge of the brush support as I showed you guys, and then what I'm going to do is start going in back and forth motions and small round and round motions. What that does is it evenly diffuses the color in that particular area without it having a harsh edge or just looking very patchy. So, and then now you can see, you remember I told you where you hold your brush really matters. So initially when I was packing the color, I held it here. So now that I'm going in to blend, and it's a very specific particular area, a very small area that I want to blend, I'll go in closer just so I can be able to have even more control over my brush as to the area that I am blending, as opposed to doing it like this and then blending it like this and then having the eyeshadow transfer all the way till here. I hope that makes sense. So hold your brush a little closer, raise your eyebrow if you need to, and then just slowly by slowly start blending that out. I haven't added any product, and if you feel like your brush has too much product, you can always take a dry tissue, not a wet wipe, a dry tissue, and then just wipe away the excess and then just go in and blend. So as you can see, I'm going back and forth and in small round and round motion, and then I'm dragging it now all the way till my inner corner. And I want you to notice that I'm not going into the color, I'm staying right on the edge, because what you want to blend is the edge, not the color. We want still the color and the intensity to stay the same. So I'll just continue doing that. Back and forth, back and forth. Okay, I'll just do a fast forward of this, because if I do it in real time, it's going to take way too long. I'm just going to do a little time lapse so you guys can see. So the next thing we're going to be doing is going in with the color to diffuse or to blend that out. So as you can see, it's already semi-blended, so it's going to be even easier when I go in with a lighter color to be able to blend it out. Also, if you're not a fan of color, you can always substitute this and use just an earth tone or something, just a slightly lighter brown. But because I want this look to be a little poppy, and also this palette doesn't have a lighter shade of brown, this is a really beautiful shade to blend it with. Also, you can go in with orange, but I've chosen yellow today. So again, I'm going to use this blending brush. It is fluffy, and then tap away the excess, and again raise your eyebrow a little bit. And I'm going to be starting, as you can see, I'm holding it much closer. I'm going to be starting here. Some people, there's two ways to do it. So some people usually pack in or pat in and then start blending, or alternatively, instead of patting in, you can go straight ahead and start blending like so. Okay, so whichever method you prefer, you can, both of them work, but I would say that I would recommend the patting in first, because it does make sure that that color has already started diffusing, even because you see, even as you're patting, you're still blending. There's three major ways of blending eyeshadow. So there's patting in, that is one way of blending, there's round and round, and then there's a back and forth, among other methods. So but today we're going to use those three. So again, my hand as the pivot. Whenever you tend to find that you take your colors too high or too low, just always raise your eyebrow, and then always try and use very little force, and then try to keep it in that area. For example, if I'm blending over here, I'll blend. Usikwe na haraka, stay right there. If there's a particular area that you need to blend there, continue blending until you like the blend, and then go somewhere else. What I found, even sometimes with my students is I would tell them blend and then they'd start blending like this. You see? No, I don't recommend that. If you are a professional or you've been doing it for a while, yes, that can work. But if you're a beginner, I would recommend do it in small areas. One area, finish it, go to the next area, like that, like that, like that. It will make it much easier for you to be able to blend it out. So you see, I'll start with here, I blend it. Okay, do I like that blend? I like that blend. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more product and then I'll continue. Another thing also is, for example, let me show you. You see, this is a fluffy brush. Okay, let me show you on the other side. When I am packing on the product, ideally, if I want to add more product, I don't do this, because I don't want the whole brush to have the product, unless that's what you want. For me, I want just the edge of the brush to have the product, because that's the edge that I'm going to be using to blend. So ideally what I would do is, instead of dipping it like this, I would go in with the side like that, as you guys can see. So you see, only one side of the brush is packing on the product. Okay, so I'll go in and then just start slowly by slowly blending it out. And then again, what tends to happen is, whenever you're blending one color into the other, the color that you're blending, like for example the brown, it tends to sometimes disappear. But don't worry, you can always go back in and add more color onto that. The thing with eyeshadow is just keep alternating, like blend this and then come back in if you need to add more color. Like right now I'm going to add a little bit of the brown, but I'm not going to put it directly there. I'm going to put the majority of it there, tap away the excess, and then just go back in like that, because I don't want also to have such a harsh color and then now start reblending it again. So I'm just going to do that. And then keep going back and forth until you like how the eye looks. So that is fully blended. I'm gonna go in with the same brush that I used for my concealer, and then I'm just gonna put it right over here, right on the lid, but below the crease. I've not added anything on the brush. This is just the remainder of what was on the brush. So I'm just going to put it right there, as you can see, and then I'm going to use my clean finger to just blend out that edge. What I want to do is to be able to apply my shimmer shade and have it be very intense without it being a very sharp cut crease. Okay, I want it to look very nice and very blended. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to use this is an angled, it's a fluffy brush, but it's flatter on the sides as opposed to the other ones. And then I'm going to pick up this shade, our shimmer shade from the Zulu palette, tap away the excess, and then make sure there's no crease again, because every time you open your eye like this, you see, like you'll put product, sorry, you open your eye, guess what, ilisha crease, ilisha crease. So you want to just, every time right before you apply, just make sure everything is nice and blended, and then don't even open your eye, just go in and glide that baby on there. Okay, whenever you want to apply shimmers, the best way to apply it is by gliding it on like this. But whenever you're also going into those little areas where you want to shape, you can also still pat in, it's okay. So what I like to do is, you see, for example, I've already done the first one, yeah? So you look at them like this. So you want to make sure that where this one creases, or rather ends, is where the other one ends. So just start slowly by slowly, and then just continue going up until you get to your desired shape and your desired point on the crease area. And for this, you can also choose to use your finger. Your finger also works really, really beautifully. But this time I decided to use a brush to show you guys. But if you like, you can use your finger and then just glide it on. The disadvantage sometimes with the finger comes in that you're not really able to form that shape, as opposed to when you have a brush and then I'm able to, come and then just form that little arch. but you can always manipulate it in terms of, even when you apply the product, you come back in and then you blend everything out with your transition color in an arch shape. Okay, so looking at both of them, this one is slightly higher, but it's okay. I'm going to blend it out, and then as you can see, it's ended right there, right close to the end of my eye. So that's where I want the other one to also end. The thing with makeup is always trying to make everything look as uniform as possible without it being very shabby. So I'll go back in with my brown, the same brown that I put here. I'm not adding any product, I'm just using the remainder here. The reason is because I don't want to now start putting such a harsh color there and then now having to blend out the shimmer, the brown and the yellow. So I'm just using the remainder on the brush, and then I'm lifting my eye just so I can be able to see the area where I want to blend, and I'm blending right on the edge of the shimmer. Okay, right on the edge of the shimmer, so right there. So just back and forth until that shape is the shape that we want it to be. And every time you do it, keep comparing, keep looking at the other one. You're like, okay, so is this one the way it's supposed to be? Has it started the right place? Has it arched the right way? Just keep comparing eyes to make sure you have the neatest thing possible. So I like how that's looking, but I like to blend out the shimmer a little bit on this edge. So I'll just again take a little bit of that brown, tap away the excess, and then I'll start dragging it, but into the edge. I'm not dragging it into the shimmer, just into the edge. So just back and forth over there. Okay, now I want to come really close, so I come right there like so. And if you feel like any of your shimmer has been removed, you can always go back and then just correct anything. That needs correcting. Okay, so I'm gonna go out and then do the rest of my face, and then I'll be back. If you guys want to learn how to do your eyeliner, I already have a video on lashes and foundation, but I will be doing an updated one soon. But I'm just gonna go and do the rest of my face. If you guys want a video on how to do eyeliner, let me know in the comments. So let me go finish my face and then come back and show you the whole look. So here is the final eye look. As you can see, Randy's making a little cameo. It's time for his shower, and he didn't want to be put down. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching how to do your eyeshadow. If you have any questions or any part that is not clear, feel free to leave it in the comment section and let me know what other videos or what other areas in makeup that you struggle in, and I'll definitely make an effort to be able to do other videos for you guys. So thank you for watching. Say bye, baba. Bye bye. No, he does not care.